Welcome to Notable Approvals. I am attorney Amanda Schaefer. Thank you for joining us. Today we are continuing to discuss notable asylum case approvals. If you've joined us this week or last week, we've been talking about asylum cases in anticipation of our live Q&A discussion on Asylum that will take place next Thursday, September 24th at 9 p.m. So I invite you all to like us, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, so that you don't miss it or any more of these notable approvals. So today's case is notable for a couple of different reasons. It is another case that we were able to get approved at the asylum interview. So the client was able to get asylum relatively quickly. This client is a native and citizen of Indonesia. The second reason this case is notable is because she was able to have asylum granted despite not having any past persecution. So I'll explain a little bit what that means. And again, I'll go into more details at our live Q&A next week on Thursday. In order to be eligible for asylum, you need to prove that you are subject to past persecution. So basically somebody threatened to beat or torture you or something to that extent, or actually did one of something like that to you. And if you're able to prove past persecution, then there's a rebuttable presumption that that you will have a reasonable fear of future persecution if you're going to return to your country. And what happens is if you do have past persecution, it makes your case much easier because then the burden shifts to the government, and now the government has to prove, no, you will actually be safe if you return home. If you don't have any past persecution, it's all on you to prove that, look, I haven't been harmed before, but if I go back to my home country, I'm going to be harmed then, or not just harmed, but persecuted. So the standard is higher in a situation like this. And it's all, very rarely are these approved right at the interview. So this client, her claim was based on being a member of the LGBTQ community. I'm not sure exactly the timeline with when everything happened for her, because some of it was before I started practicing. She's been here for a while, but what I do know is that she applied for asylum her third time coming to the US. The first two times she came as a student and went back. She also studied in Singapore, which brings us to two more notable reasons this was approved, that it wasn't a straightforward asylum case because she returned to her home country after she came out, and she also spent time in Singapore in another country and didn't apply for asylum there, which today that might not fly. So we had to explain that, yes, she may have, came out as a gay woman before she returned to Indonesia, but when she got there, she realized that she got back home, she realized she couldn't stay home because of how LGBTQ people are treated in that country. And the only past persecution she talked about, she's like, look, I have a friend who's out in the open in Indonesia, and she, like I do, have male features, and I've watched her get attacked. So she hadn't been persecuted, but somebody similarly situated had been. So it was overall, an easier case in that there was no doubt about the country conditions. In Indonesia, and to this day, it is a majority Muslim country, which she talked about being an issue back home with her sexuality. And even so, it's still not something that is widely accepted there, unfortunately. So we were very happy that we were able to help her secure her asylum here. She now is actually a U.S. citizen. It's been a little while. So that is all today for notable approvals. This was a little short one for you. Join us tomorrow. I'll have another exciting asylum case. And don't forget to tune in next Thursday, September 24th at 9 p.m. Eastern time, where my co-host, attorney Aaron Shapiro, and I will be hosting a live Q&A discussion on Asylum. Send any questions that you have in advance. We'll also answer your questions live. Thank you for watching and have a great day.